Ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Chingo Bling, the Ghetto Vaquero. We are back, baby. Sorry about last week, man. I take full responsibility for missing 3 whole episodes. Lord have mercy. Dude, somebody left a comment on YouTube like, so is RPT over? Do I stop being a subscriber? No more Patreon? Am I no longer an agent of the TIA?
Of course not.
I noticed somebody threw a flag right there, but okay, looks like we did it on purpose. How's your morning starting off, brother?
Pretty good, man. Welcome back. It's great to be back in the studio. This is the best part of the week, is creating this content. So I can't wait to hear about your trip. There's so much going on in the world. And it's not even just news, because it is news, but it's like culturally. I mean, we posted a lot of fire clips on the What They Said
page. The demons is out there, bro. It's spiritual warfare, big Don.
Bro, to another level.
Yeah.
And you give 1 week's break worth of not talking about it and putting it out there to the people, and you feel like you're so behind trying to encourage better for the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's because, what happens is, bro, is people had good intentions. They thought they were voting for inclusivity and diversity and equity. That's what they thought they were voting for. But they ain't know they was voting for expensive eggs, expensive gas, World War III.
They got bamboozled.
Shit. Chingo de guerra, wait. The warmongers, they tricked y'all. They were like, look at all the flags. Look at all the flags. We love everybody. Yeah. We finna set it off and go nuclear.
Dude, you got shows coming up. The tour's in full swing.
Oh, man, bro. I feel like I just got home. Estoy para arriba y para abajo como calzones de ya sabes qué, güey.
You look pretty ripped. It seems either you're not eating or...
Ripped? No, you the one losing weight. I'm trying to look like Rip from Yellowstone, though, Big Don.
We finally got Peacock so we can watch the old episodes.
How do I look ripped? If I'm wearing a jacket and a sweater.
Well, you look super toned. I saw you yesterday putting some work in over here into the studio.
Oh, okay. He was checking out my flex.
I was peeping game.
Rob the one that done went down the whole clothes side. He walking around baggy like he's from the barrio.
I do. I need to get new clothes. I need to get some new FJB sizes and some other apparel. Which, by the way, are we gonna go ahead and announce that store now?
Let's do it, bro.
So that when this episode drops, everybody can go to chingodemerch.com.
Chingodemerch.com. It's gonna be like the location of the umbrella of the network of all the podcasts that we are producing. It's gonna have. You know what we really got to do though?
What?
For some of the merch ideas is some of the inside jokes and catchphrases.
100%.
There's a lot of ideas on the Discord. Hit us up right now. Patreon.com/Red Pill Tamales. I just got back and I got to leave to Corpus Christi this weekend.
So what is that? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Simon. So I have a handful of shows. It's going to be Liddy in the 361. Working out new material. Shout out to everybody that came out to the sold out shows with me and Raymond Horta. It was McAllen, to the gills, standing room only. Like,
oh, shit.
The photos look amazing. Tas. South Padre Island. It was like on the resort and very like cramped up like sardines, but like remind me of the comedy, not the Comedy Store, the Comedy Cellar in
New York.
In New York, where it's just like low ceiling. It's like almost like a little bar. I felt like I was doing comedy on a cruise ship,
like in a speakeasy.
It was just like DJ lights, like little stage but lit. It was just like you had to be there. It was a moment. And then we hit up Laredo, and also to the gills. Raymond Horta, he did like a 2-hour marathon set.
What?
Yeah, I learned so much. I had a great time. Met a lot of people. Made a lot of connections. A lot of people like, Chingo, queremos ser sponsors, compadre. Hey, carnal, déjame ser sponsor, güey. Hey, you don't have a mota sponsor? Let me be your sponsor. Chingo de sponsors, ahora sí.
South Texas always showing love.
Speaking of sponsors, shout out to M3C. That's where we got all our beef from. More details on that because the calves aren't ready for, the inventory ain't up yet.
Yeah.
So they're like, bro, you ain't even got announcers yet, bro. We'll let you know when they're ready to take calls for queremos blanquillos, güey, eggs, line 3. I need a half cat. What's up with the brisket? Grass fed. Tas.
We got an ETA on this? Like maybe how near to the future we can do
I mean, they're already sponsoring, but they're like, bro, you ain't even got to shout us out yet, bro, because the inventory ain't ready yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the inventory.
Bro, see, los animales, güey, I think they're going to get into hogs as well. Right now, it's like grass-fed beef. We got a freezer full. We purchased it at one rate. But these days, it's a great investment because these days the rates of food, the prices of food, chicken, eggs, everything's fluctuating. Mm-hmm. So I'm already locked in. Like we ain't got to buy no beef for a long time.
Hell yeah.
But anyway,
That's kind of a good starting point, actually, is like the food. Like, have you seen, I mean, obviously you've seen the prices of things skyrocket, but have you seen the articles coming out against eggs in particular? Like, that's the new...
What they say, man, it's climate change, not enough diversity.
Bro, basically, like...
Who's responsible for the... I want to ask Juan Big Stoner, but I also saw a clip of, what's the, Breaking Points?
Yeah, Sagar.
Sagar, he did a clip. I didn't watch it. But anyway, go on.
I mean, it's the number one enemy right now. It will give you heart attacks. It will create...
Oh, they're saying eggs are bad.
Demonizing. Yes.
More for me.
Dude. And then you had the factory. I can't remember exactly where the factory was. I'll look it up here in a second. That caught on fire just a couple days after all these stories went up.
A whole poultry farm caught on fire.
Yeah.
Boy. Huh. Well, that's a coincidence.
Wow.
That's not suspicious at all.
Not even a little.
They want you to eat the bugs.
You know what I want people to, like, I realize that Wednesdays are our biggest show because it's the free episode that everybody listens to. I do encourage you guys to sign up for the Patreon and get the premium stuff along with the community at patreon.com/Red Pill Tamales. But this show is about freedom. Is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Is that not the number one thing?
I mean, that's a big part of it, yeah.
Right. So I want to encourage that. There was the guy from Virginia. We talked about this late December. I showed you there, or we played the video of the ABC, the TABC, and the local, like, health enforcement that came into the guy's restaurant, started cutting
the restaurant.
The restaurateur.
They were cutting what up?
All of his, like, alcohol lines, and, like, they took all of his booze. Remember, they took away his license, and they closed him down because he was serving without a license. And we didn't have the whole backstory on it, but he was on Tim Pool's the other day, Tim Pool's podcast the other night. Bro, after I listened to this guy's story from beginning to end, it made me want to run through a fucking wall again. And this guy, they fucked with the wrong guy. He was a veteran himself, former military, served his country. I believe he was even like intelligence for a period. And he fought all the way, and he beat the government. He beat the fucking law enforcement that was trying to shake him down for money at the end.
Oh, yeah. Shakedowns happen all the time in many forms.
It was something else, man. But,
anybody that's on child support is familiar with shakedowns.
Bro, it's so fucked
Sometimes
up.
they try to shake you down, especially when your baby finna be 18. That's when they really want to shake you down.
They want to get the last little drop.
Yeah, sácale.
Ching, 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 ching. I hear something in there. Let me get it.
IRS go
I
to
fucking hate it. Yeah, we can relate on a lot of those different things. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to talk to you again, be back on the podcast.
Yeah, man. You know, like I said, man, I'll take full responsibility. Although I was waiting by the Zoom call. I was like, Rob gonna call me any minute, bro, so we can knock these out.
He's taking responsibility. It should be me. This is let me
No. At the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, I'll take full responsibility.
It was both of our fault. It was a big week, and we needed the tour to kick off in full swing. And I heard it was an interesting weekend. So it went well.
Yeah. Rob made an executive decision. He's like, hey, bro, we're gonna do a bye week.
Yeah, first time in 2 years, by the way. If you're new to the show, the listeners have never, even the hardcores know this, have never missed an episode for over 2 years, and that's just the way that it is.
Yeah,
big week.
Yeah. Jess Tier on the Discord, she made sure to. She made sure to call me out. What's wrong? Your hearing aid wasn't working? Your big toe got in the way? Tripped over yourself? You couldn't record? You forgot about us, the agents?
That's one of the shirts that's going to be just like an ear with a hearing aid. And it's just going to be like, can you hear me now? Or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody going to buy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so chingothemerch.com is going to be up and running by the time this airs. Shout out to manscaped.com. We got some real funny, cool commercials coming for them. Promo code Chingo. But last night, bro, we saw this documentary. Have you heard of them? That church, La Luz del Mundo?
No.
Okay, so I'm familiar because I see them like in every city. And
La Luz del Mundo.
La Luz del Mundo.
Okay.
All right. So I think I even know some people that used to attend there, right? But there's a documentary. I think it's like on HBO. And bro, you know how much we talk about like. Here, let me log off of Facebook. All right, bye y'all. Mousy Moreno on Facebook. Big shout out. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Sas, I'll see you on Corpus this weekend. Doo-doo-doo. A huevo. Tune into the podcast. Tune into the podcast. We have 4 podcasts. What Did He Say podcast, Red Pill Tamales podcast. Me and my wife have Cafecito Time. And then my wife also has her lounge podcast. They're everywhere. There's no excuse. It's on YouTube, Spotify, todo. Sas, vámonos. Tune in. All right. Let's get off of that because Mark Zuckerberg ain't going to like.
What you're about to say?
Bro, all right. So I'm not going to badmouth anybody who attended, who attends, who's a part of that church. I'm not gonna badmouth them. However, this documentary sure does make some interesting arguments about the grooming, the cult-like situation, the exploitation of people, like taking their every dime. Like basically, they have a leader of that church, and he said, I'm the apostle, and I'm basically chosen by God to be the messenger, you know, so I'm the man, and I have no sin. And I was sent here for y'all type of thing. And it's like, word, okay, this is a whole nother spinoff. Like, what part of the Bible? And basically they would use and manipulate and interpret parts of the Bible to get their point across. Like, no, this is why you have to give us all your money. Or like, this is why you have to. Bro, they literally built the headquarters of that church in Guadalajara, like this huge wedding cake looking thing. And it was people. It was like the congregation for 10 years. Like, they looked like ants carrying up stones and materials and rock. Like, whoa, none of them have a harness, a hard hat. Like, they're just like the way I imagine pyramids were built back in the day, right? And so now this dude has like this concubine harem. It was like like if R. Kelly mixed with Kim Jong-un. It was just like this crazy cult leader.
Okay.
And then it was generational. So he was like, I'm the apostle, I'm the messenger. And then we're going to have this election where the next messenger gets elected. And then it's like, oh shit, look who got elected. It's my son. And then that's a whole generation of that regime. And then, okay, it's election again. This is where people save up, and it's like a pilgrimage to Mecca type of thing, where they all save up and go to Guadalajara, and that's when they want to give the most during like la elección del whatever. The Santa Cena. They had this thing called Santa Cena where they recreate like the Last Supper, and they're passing out like little pieces of bread and stuff. Everyone's like crying and, you know, feeling it. And then who was the next person to take the role of the apostle? The grandson. So now it's just generational. It's almost like y'all created this whole other splintered off thing where you say you're selected from God. Almost kind of like the Pope a little bit. But homeboy was like, y'all go, he had these secretaries. And those secretaries were like professional groomers where they kind of knew how to pick out. And he'd always be like, find me more girls. Like, it's all about power. Like, youngsters, like really, really young. Like, there's stories of one lady, like all the survivors that like snapped out of this mass formation psychosis. Mass formation psychosis. Because we're sitting there watching it. And of course, Marisols is like, oh my God, how could all these people not know? Like, look how they're just like, that don't even make no sense. And how are they tricking these young girls to be like, it's going to feel like sin. It's going to feel wrong, but you need to please him because it's not sin, because he has no sin. And he's working hard to save all the souls. So you have to help him and whatever he needs. And it was like disgusting. It was like one lady saying, I was 14, my little sister was 9, he made us do that. It was people. And then the secretaries would get involved, like, do this, get in that position, do that, bring her. And every city they'd go to, he would just be like this, what's the word, man? Like, can't be quenched, like endless thirst for like more, like a Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Mixed with Epstein.
Just fiending for it.
Yeah, just kind of like power. Like, you know what I mean? Like eating souls, eating innocence, power. And it's like, bro, you couldn't have just been, quote unquote, like a leader that was like here to preach the gospel, and he's buying real estate everywhere, and he's got churches in like 52 countries, and they're everywhere. And there's a couple big ones in Houston, I think, like on the north side. And finally, you know, some would snap out, and then they demonize you. They isolate you and ostracize you. They basically say anybody that goes against the apostle, you can't mess with them. Like, they're out. They're completely out. And so now it's almost like how they did the Trumpers, right? Like, oh, you anti-vaxxer. Ooh, you MAGA. Let me find out you wore a red hat. Nuh-uh, cut them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cut them off. Don't engage with them. Are they coming to Thanksgiving? All that type of cult-like goofy shit that they did to the Trumper America First people.
Yeah.
They did it to the congregation, where like the minute they'd be like, hey, there's some fishy stuff going on. Like, some of this do y'all know other religions don't do that or whatever?
So what would happen to them after that became the situation for them? Were they allowed to just leave?
There were even beatings. There were even like physical.
I was gonna say, like, there had to have been some hands placed on them.
I mean, it was like some Godfather, mafioso. Wow. You know, sex a lot of times is about power, and some people, it's almost like all that power. He had everybody worshiping him and everything else. He had all this real estate, and like, Even that wasn't enough. He's like, how else can I feel power?
What do you think these people were getting from this individual that made them stick around? Like, you know what I mean? Like, people, if you look throughout history, like charismatic leaders are everywhere throughout history. Some might say that Trump is one of the most charismatic leaders, but I mean, you go back to anybody, name them, any president, basically, anybody that's been able to run a successful quote unquote cult. Like, these people have a lot of traits in common. What was this guy offering these people that made them stick around?
Quick shout out, man. Support for Red Pill Tamales is brought to you by Manscaped. And I'm going to tell you this, bro. I've heard of Manscaped, right? So at first, I'm like, okay, so some little trimmer things, right? Like, okay, I get it. All right. How good could it possibly be? And then the package arrived. But this is the Performance Package 4.0. It's the one that comes with, like, you even get a set of drawers up in there, some chones, some calzones. That way your masterpiece after your confidence is up and you got everything looking pipiris nice and sharp. Ready for Valentine's, pa todas las viejas. Promo code Chingo. Get 20% off, free worldwide shipping. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. That is 14 million huevos. But I'll tell you, bro, like, I literally was blown away. Like, not only is it, waterproof and, it really does avoid all the accidents and anything that could go wrong. Valentine's is around the corner. The Performance Package 4.0 is a game changer because it comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker, which is for your ear and nose. And when you get my age, bro, the ear hair starts to get crazy, nose hair start to get real crazy, bro. Something about when you hit 43. It comes with so many things: the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, which are comfy, I ain't gonna lie, and the travel bag to hold it all. So when I hit the road, man, I'm out there doing my comedy thing. Y'all wonder why I'm so confident, man. It's because I got the Performance Package 4.0, brought to you by Manscaped. Order yours now and share in the confidence and take care of your huevos and do it for your vieja. Valentine's is around the corner. Use promo code Chingo and save 20%. Sas. I think it's a lot of the same parallels that you would see in all those examples. Just kind of like a, I don't know, if I just off the top of my head, kind of like a false promise, a false sense of hope. Like, you're going to be so blessed.
Right.
You're going to be so blessed. You're so blessed. It's just the way persuasion and hypnotism works, where it's kind of like, trust me, I was sent here. We're doing big things in the name of the church, in the name of the Lord, and you going da-da-da, because we are, la luz del mundo, and da-da-da-da. And
great name.
A lot of it sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
It's because a lot of the people didn't know what all was happening, because they had these, like, dances where it'd be like themes. Like, we're going to do an Egyptian theme, and everybody dresses up, and they all hang out, whatever. So anytime someone would say, I was at the dances that were inappropriate and, I was really young and this and that. So anytime someone says that, a lot of people were able to say, no, I was at those dances. You're lying. I went to the Egyptian one. I went to this, all the themes. What it was, bro, is they would cast this grooming net where they kind of knew who, like, which parents were going to go along with it, or who was vulnerable, or how you could trick, lie, and manipulate. And so they would cast this big net, be like, yeah, everybody come, we're going to have this big thing. And now they trying to pick them out the crowd. Hey, the apostle thinks you're very beautiful. And it's almost like you going backstage with Metallica or some shit.
Hell yeah.
Where it's Rob sound like he been. Where they're like, hey, the apostle thinks you're very beautiful. There's going to be a private dance. It's going to be another one, right? And it's separate from this one. But
it's going to be just you and
we're
him.
going to have some clothes for him, or for you. And it narrowed down a little bit more. We're like, okay, we got a little bit. Now we can kind of see. They're like fish in a barrel type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
who's the most vulnerable? How we going to manipulate? Who ain't going to tell? Yada, yada, yada. And then they weed them down to, it literally sounded like an Epstein situation where his secretaries, the ladies, they would help bring them in, and as they were indoctrinating them, they would literally use the Bible and be like, you see this character here? Do you see how King David was really sick and old and he needed energy to do his thing, and she kept his bed warm and kept him warm so that he could have energy. Did you get the parable there in that story? And they'd be like, yeah. And okay, cool. Slowly indoctrinating.
How do you think like, or let me say it like this. Do you think that is what turns a lot of people off from organized religion, especially the bigger it gets and the more authority or power that they end up, developing?
Oh yeah, like a lot of people don't like Lakewood because it's too of that.
That's a great example. By
prosperity gospel.
Yeah.
People be like, ain't enough scripture, ain't enough word. You just like, oh, it's all good and everything's gonna be pretty and you're gonna be blessed and prosperity and multiply in abundance. And it's all like hope and change and change and hope and whatever, right? And
he's the guy.
Obviously, I love Second Baptist. I see like all the ways they give back. I see how good their schooling is, like the curriculum, everything about how they actually preach the word, like how they'll call out the local politicians and the crime, and how they're just like some practical, useful, family type tools. Like, like I love raising my daughters and like taking them. And when I do have my 14-year-old, she gets to, when she's at my house, she gets to experience that.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what goes on at her other house, but with me, you're going to have a father figure. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm your dad. And you see how the two little ones that I raise all the time, you see how they see their dad.
Yeah.
They see their dad as like, yo, dad is the man. Like, dad is here. Dad is, you know what I mean? Like, now, once they turn 14, sometimes they be having different influences and perspectives, and they probably don't see you the same way. Like, well, I got them all the time. Yeah, I'm able to take them to jiu-jitsu and to church and all these other things. And I just came back from taking Sonny to play, and so Aww. You might not see that. You might not know what it's like to be full-time with me,
dad life.
but anyway, I believe that, like, you're right. A lot of people do have a anti-church bias because trust me, I've heard all the reasons and all the rhetoric of like, how many wars were started due to religion? And, when they came here, the natives, and they were like polytheistic, and they came with the Bible in one hand and the sword in the other, and then they gave them the smallpox, and they raped this, and they took the scalps of that, and they, and they forced them, and those missions they have in San Antonio, do you think that was just And I've heard it all. Yeah. But the alternative of, being cynical and not having like any guidance, like any North Star, and sure, people can be, not go to church and have morality.
Yeah, I'm always a prime example of that, I think, right? Because you're right. Like, if you have, and that's why, like, this whole, and it is more of a trend of people being more, especially young people being very nihilistic, that, once it's done, it's over. And also, like, what is anything? Does it matter? That kind of shit. That's way more dangerous, I feel like, than religion ever has been, in my opinion. And I'm not even that religious, right? So this is a perfect time to bring up, I don't know if you saw Corpitos, there's a link earlier in the Discord about the marriage conference. Did you see that? Have you ever heard of the EXO Marriage Conference?
No, what is it?
So Dr. Ed Young's actually going to be one of the speakers there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to play this for you. They're coming to Houston. It's like all over Texas, and Corpitos is going to go to the one in Corpus later in March. They're coming to Houston in February, so plug to them. But here, I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to play this little video. I haven't seen it, but I don't know what it's about, but let's see. We'll watch it together. But it's very church-based, obviously.
You have a 100% chance of success in marriage. You just need to do it God's way.
A strong marriage rarely has two strong people at the same time, but it's often a husband and wife who take turns being strong for each other in the moments the other is weak, and then together realizing that it's Jesus who's holding you.
The aim of our marriages, church, today is that we would transform by the power of the Spirit of God into the likeness of Jesus himself.
May the God of hope fill you all with joy and peace as you hold hands with one another.
Oh, that was an ad at the bottom. I thought they were pushing.
It was a YouTube ad.
I was like, yo, they taking a biblical approach to intermittent fasting.
That's funny. Yeah, I've never heard of this conference, but apparently it's a big ass conference. They run a lot of podcasts and shit, but it's all about just marriage and the family unit and whatnot.
And all that is beautiful, bro, because you know, like.
Yeah, Ed. Lisa, is that him? Lisa Young, is that his wife?
Wait, that's his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his son.
Gotcha.
Yep. He has a church up there in, or actually a few.
Gotcha.
One is actually even out of a prison as well.
But you were saying.
Anyway, that is so beautiful and so powerful because, you know, there's nothing like finding the right one and just like focusing your energy and your love and all that on your family unit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why a lot of times you hear me preaching this shit about like, man, you can't let these hoes be temptation, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or like Martha Stewart in the apron, bro. That's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you over here Googling apron this and apron that or whatever. Because especially when you're out in the public eye and you out there like doing meet and greets or people, whatever, sometimes chicks gonna try to be flirtatious.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes they'll literally be like tripping over themselves. Like, oh my God, just the idea of, oh my God, of whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Just in their minds, like, oh, this is, you know, whatever. I'm going to see if I still got it. Or let me see if I flick my hair like this, are they going to kind of look? Or if I purposely, you know, walk this way, walk that way with the BBL, how many of the men, they love that shit.
Pull up their straps.
How many of the men are going to be, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be slick about it. It can't be like that exactly, you know?
But even then, my point is, you know, are you gonna look real quick, or are you gonna just look real quick with your peripheral, or are you gonna like literally have some type of self-control and understand the power dynamics of like, for example, you think how was your great-great-granddaddy, like your great-great-great-granddaddy before Playboy, before all this internet stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like they didn't have all that temptation. They didn't have all that at their fingertips. So it's like your granddaddy wasn't being told, oh man, you know, ain't nothing bad with that. You know, it's a little, you know, it's a sugary treat, or, you know, it's healthy, or that's part of a healthy relationship too. Or, you know, that's just a common thing you can use for, it's a tool. Look at it as a tool. It's like, bro, your great-great-granddaddy didn't even have that shit. All he had was ganas for your great-great-grandma. He had imagination, and he was putting all his energy towards his woman. Not, well, you know, back then, I'm sure people were cheating, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. But it wasn't like watching other people on the screen and you over here doing X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't a thing. Or Hugh Hef out here grooming these chicks, making it seem like, oh, I'm just a publisher, and, you know, so advertising, and this is just the Playboy lifestyle. It's like, no, bitch.
This is actually a perfect time to bring up one of the stories I had pulled up for you. Former Google executive claims he was fired after accusing female boss of sexual harassment.
So they fired him.
They fired him. They turned it around on his ass. So a former executive of Google was suing the tech giant, claiming that he was fired after reporting his female boss was with inappropriate conduct. Bro, this story is hilariously insane. So that's the guy that got fired, and that's his lady boss, right? Mm-hmm. Long story short, if you want to go read it, this is at the Post Millennial. So she made advancements at him at the company Christmas party. Mm-hmm. He was not receptive to him at all.
Oh yeah, he must have took my master class. Bro.
He's a husband and a father of 7.
Come on now.
His wife is also Asian, which his boss made a note to HR. Like, he's married to an Asian woman, whatever. It's got 7 kids. Like, what the fuck what correlation are you trying to make here, right? Yeah. So he went to HR. HR flat out said, this is his reporting, accountings of it, that had the roles been reversed, they would have escalated the claims. But because it was a guy with the claims, they said, shut up, basically. And since then, she didn't take too nicely to it. So anytime there was a function, and they even note in here, and alcohol was involved, she became very vindictive. They made him seem like the bad guy, right? They made him seem like his team has too many other white guys on it. You should fire somebody and hire a woman. After he refused to do things like that, they ended up firing him. Power, brother.
Yeah,
power.
man. Marisols told me this story about, and we're not saying no names, nothing. We're not gonna give too much context, right?
Paraphrase.
Basically, at one of her jobs, there was a female who had kind of a more upper management type of situation, right? Mm-hmm. Well, she made a sport of, let me get this little, you know, get a couple notches on my belt, right? And her dude actually worked there, but she would, you know, occasionally, you know, hey, we're gonna sneak over here or come into my office. Let's go into that office, or just like dudes were falling victim.
Yeah.
They were all notches on her belt, kind of like the female cop at the what was that, Memphis? What
Yeah.
was it, in Tennessee somewhere?
Yeah.
The female cop that anyway, that all the dudes fell for the okie doke. Okay, now you involved in this whole debacle, right? So anyway, homegirl at Marisols, one of her jobs back in the day. Case in point of like, you know, you were getting adrenaline rush. Maybe you were getting some love and attention that maybe it was a different type. You liked the excitement. Maybe it was the power dynamic. But this story, yeah, it's totally believable. It's just unfortunate that sometimes the fellas, we the victims.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it just goes to show that just because men in power positions sometimes abuse that and make these advancements and try to have these notches on their belt, like, oh yeah, the secretary, yeah, been had that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, girl in the mailroom, yup. You know what I'm saying? And you thinking you the man and shit because you over here trying to rack up notches on your belt. Well, guess what? Women aren't immune because, as we have seen, a lot of times when they get in those situations, they can't just keep it cool. They want to do what they eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I had, dude, honestly, I have a similar story, but I'm going to read a little bit, one more paragraph from the story. So the guy's last name is Olahan, and the chick's name, his boss, was Miller. So according to the New York Post, Olahan accused Miller of rubbing his abs, commenting on his body, and telling him that her marriage lacked, quote, spice. While the pair were out with colleagues at a dinner at Fig and Olive, a ritzy restaurant in New York. And, you know, it goes on and on to talk about the lawsuit and everything else, and him eventually getting fired because she was accusing him of microaggressions and berating him public. She sounds
kind of woke, huh?
Super duper, right? So real quick, I worked at an office when I was younger too, and there was this chick there who's friends with other friends of mine that worked at this place. She was a bombshell. She was very, very attractive, and she was one of literally 2 or 3 women where she would like walk in and the room would stop kind of thing.
There
right?
you go. Yeah, there
very
you go. They love that.
And they knew it too. And she was having a thing with a dude that worked. She was married as well, and she was having a thing with a guy that worked in the office.
So she was married.
She was married,
and he was
just some guy there,
a dude
at the office, right? And
he was the prey.
He was the prey.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
He thought he was the man because they use that kind of bait. They use that bait on him. Ooh, you the man.
Right.
You want to be the man?
And
I'm the bombshell. I'm the smoke shell.
She was such a smoke show. She was a smoke show. And anyway, through the grapevine, you end up finding out that the husband finds out, and the dude was so head over heels about it over her that he was the one that proposed, like, we need to go to counseling. Let's go to counseling. Let's make this work. The husband, right?
Yeah.
And I think they made it work for a hot ass minute, but I'm not sure that it worked in the long run. So
that's why you got to be careful who you link up with.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful. It could get pricey. It could get dicey and pricey. And now you over here stressed out, or you over here miserable, or you caught up in the whole office place debacle.
Yeah, shitting everywhere that you eat, literally.
I mean, bro, it's like, cold shower. Maybe it's easy for me to say just because, like, I found. Like, you know what I mean? I found a hell of a woman, great one, my soulmate, and I'm 43. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not out there trying to, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm gonna let you trip over yourself, like trying to get it. You gonna flick your hair so many times, and we ain't budging.
No.
We ain't budging over here.
In the world of social media too, like I don't know about you, and also maybe it's the same way because I feel like I found absolutely the one, and even, I was a serial datist before this, right? I wasn't Mr. Monogamy necessarily or Mr. Commitment by any means, but like, you know, you find the importance of it as you develop it later, as you get older. And now with social media, you see this shit all the time. I'm pretty fucking immune to it. Like, I almost don't give a fuck. And I'll tell you what, anytime you start any kind of new page or anytime you try to like rid the algorithm of what it feeds you, because it's nonstop. Like when shorts became a thing on YouTube, like it was, you know, the reels and the TikToks and shit, without even having seen a short yet, one of the first shorts presented to you was just big booty bitches.
Probably in yoga pants doing some little yoga and shit. So, like, sometimes you might just look up like stretching for jujitsu.
Yeah.
Or something.
Sciatic pain.
Yeah, or tight hamstrings.
Yeah.
Or something. It'll be like, oh, okay, this right here, he's in the MMA gym. He's showing you how they do it in Thailand. And, oh, this is dope. This is jujitsu dude. He in the gi. He's showing you how to 5-minute evening stretch. And then it's like, oh, shit. God damn. I got to take this shit off my algorithm. She, like the thumbnail, she got the wedgie.
It's just camel toe in your face.
Or they just be like, carne guisada recipe, and it's fucking just BBL all in your face, and it's like, I'm not gonna let big tech participate in this type of shit. So you gotta like clear that shit out, like bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
don't even hover over the thumbnail because now they play automatically.
It starts
right?
playing,
It does, yeah,
and then it feeds it more.
Yep.
Because they
know,
bro. All right, it's in the book. Which book is it? I think it's a persuasion book, and I think it might be The Power of Influence. I don't know the name or the title, but it's a persuasion book, right? Now, if you're on the Discord, I'll go take a picture of it when I think it's back there, and I'll post it. So everybody on the Discord, you'll see it.
Okay.
All right. There's a segment, and I've mentioned this on this show before. There's a segment where they're talking about kind of how humans are wired, because it's all about persuasion. So it talks about like this, it's some kind of like animal, and it's young, makes a sound, like a click and a little whir or type of sound or whatever. And scientists did a tape recording of that. And basically anytime they would play it, it didn't matter if it was like, like a stuffed animal or anything. It was just like the weirdest random is it could be a fucking rock.
Yeah.
But if they put that sound back there, the mama bird's like, fuck, I got feet, it's making a noise, and it's instinctual. And for example, for men, it might be like a thing of biology. You know, I don't know if y'all believe in that evolution bullshit or whatever, or the bullshit ass Big Bang. But anyway, which was invented by a priest, by the way. A priest came up with that.
Don't lose your thought.
Anyway, so if you're on YouTube, you don't think big tech understands, like, bro, this is their weakness. This is the click and whirl for them. It's almost like you see the hips and the meat and the this and the that all in the right spots and
Tight.
yeah, and next thing you know, you over here, it started auto playing. So they making it easier.
Oh yeah.
They making it. It's like
Spoon feeding it.
it's not even bait anymore. It's they're putting the bait in your mouth.
Yeah.
You making it auto play.
Literally, she's putting the bait in your mouth, and you're like, what do I do with this?
So much bait. But guess what though, man? Like, you could have been watching something else that was productive. Like, you done missed out on a whole skill.
Thinking of the bait made you forget the fucking thought. You're like, oh, there's a lot of bait. What could I have been watching besides this bait?
I mean, there's so many productive things one can do than to feed than to mindlessly fall into traps.
So what do we do about this when it comes to like kids and the internet, right? Is it limit the amount of time, or is it even limit them from their exposure to it, period, which is kind of where I'm leaning to. And I'm Mr. Tech, right? I'm literally Mr. fucking, and I still kind of stand by this. Hear me out. Kids aren't going to be exposed to less devices as they get older. They're going to be exposed to more. So the thought of them not understanding how they work at the very least, I think is something to think about as a parent. How do the iPads work? How do the Amazon tablets? How do surfaces that compute, whether it's a computer or a tablet, work? Because now we'll see 1, 2, 3-year-old nieces and nephews, and even the twins when they were younger, they know the gestures, right? So maybe we can start breaking it down that like their coordination got better, their articulation of their hands got better because they know how to use these devices, and their brains maybe developed a little bit beyond what ours did, right?
Different.
Just different for the time that they're moving into. So saying no to tech completely is kind of silly, but what is on the tech is super important.
I mean, there's grown adults that don't understand the dangers of tech.
Yeah.
I think it's important to teach the kids how they work, not just how the gadgets and the surfaces work. Like, how do you work and how does the world work? Because this could be a portal into some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true.
Like, next thing you know, because if you look at the Branch Covidians and that cult, how they fell into mass formation psychosis, where they were ready to ostracize you if you question the origins of the virus.
Yeah.
If you said, could it be from a lab? Could it be a bioweapon? Was there gain of function? Oh, what the fucker? And they fucking losing their shit. You sound like a Trumper, bro. All of a sudden, you're all conservative. It's like, Mr. Anti-Vaxxer. It's like, bitch, I'm just saying... you know what I'm saying?
Can we have the conversation?
I'm just saying, do you know about myocarditis and pericarditis, and what data have you seen? You think the TV would lie to me?
This morning, there was an ABC anchor, I'll pull it up here in a second, who she came out and said, I developed pericarditis and myocarditis from the common cold.
Oof. Ain't that about a bitch?
Bro, How in that system do you have to be like, all right?
Well, there's one thing to honor and respect how God made our immune systems and to understand the real science behind how amazingly, like how many things are beyond our even comprehension. There's so many things, bro. Like when I was on this trip, I was actually at the resort, South Padre Island, and I went and got my steps on the beach and shit, and I'm looking out, and I was on Raymond's balcony, and we hitting some of that sponsor weed, and
Taking in the waves, taking in the sounds.
yeah, and I'm just looking, and you can see way far in the distance like a refinery, like way back there, and then the sun is right there. It don't look like it's a gazillion miles away, but anyway, you can tell it's big and it's hot, and then you looking as far as you can see, and obviously our human pupils and our retina, it function a certain way, right? Because there's a such thing as a mirage, and there's a such thing as limitations to how our eyes compute. But boy, I'm looking at that beautiful flat ocean, and as far as I can see, boy, I don't see no curvature. And I'm just taken aback as to how many mysteries there are in life. Like we there's a lot of things we really don't, because like simulation, some people, Elon Musk talked about it, that's one of those things that you're kind of able to theorize about without being looked at as cuckoo. And it's kind of like, okay, simulation theory, like, oh, well, what are the chances? What's the probability of that? And, when you look at like, man, could this be a super advanced, like God created, like Truman Show that we're living on? And how far does it go? And how did it start? And it's like, was it literally like it says in the creation story of Genesis? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or are we going to believe this one priest that just theorized like, oh, I think it was a big bang, whatever.
I feel like we're in a simulation. Like I feel like the Matrix is something. I mean, I've subscribed to that theory since I was young, and I still stick by it because as we've all gotten older, I think we can all say things have gotten pretty crazy. But it's accelerating at a pace which you're like, I can't even like make up shit to the pace that have actually transpired in real life.
And you know what's amazing too, bro, about Matrixy talk and simulation is that when it comes to art and like joke telling or just any type of thing, it's like, or even like trying to make a viral moment or a catchy song or that saying that one line in that one skit that's just gonna hit. It's gonna cut through all the noise, and that's the thing that everybody's gonna reshare. Next thing you know, everybody's quoting it. It's like, how do you engineer that? And if you think about the Matrix, like some people might be trying hard to come up with a song that's gonna be catchy. Like, bro, we just gotta make a hit.
Yeah.
It's just gotta be viral. And then somebody else just be like, whatever. There's that song. Have you heard it?
Oh, God,
they're from
yes.
Corpus. Well,
okay.
I jumped on the remix.
Word. That's what's up.
Yeah, I jumped on a remix. I might give y'all a little taste test. But my point is, somebody might be cracking their head open, trying to figure out the code of like something that AI might be able to do seamlessly, which is like, if you want a viral song, you have to have something novelty, 2% gimmick, 5% hard, like...
You did send me that AR article too about music.
It's like 20% jamming, you start adding it all up and it's like, oh yeah, no wonder this fucking song. It's like, it has the elements. It has like this mysterious dude with a mohawk and the face tats and the little leather bracelet and the thing, and and then fools gone wild, retweet it, and okay, that's at the end.
I hit up back talking about she tried to hit me with the and then I fucking turn around and hit her. They on my line, Chingo, what's up with the I hit them back, it's not enough. And these demons tried to hit me with the and then I spin the block and the baby Glock, spray the ops, 80 shots, Chingo Bling on the algorithm, snake boots, they still got the venom, 10 in the 20, triple and quadruple dip, they know it's him, customized switch, checkpoint, it come to K9, they shooting subs, they grade spot.
Dope.
It goes on and on and on.
That's
and
awesome.
it ends with the
That's funny. Dude, that's dope.
yeah, man. I think they might play it on the radio in Corpus. But anyway, that's how sometimes I look at like Matrixy type stuff. It's like todo tiene su chiste. Like there's a way. Like for example, you ever see these viral tweets like when Elon responds, or when Trump says some shit, or it's like all chess game. It's like, okay, what's your move? They just said this about you, Matt Gaetz. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
MTG. This is what they said to you. How you gonna backdoor? Mike Lindell. This is how they did you. How you gonna backdoor? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are you coming with?
It's funny that you say todo tiene su chiste, because at the same time, some things no tienen nada de chiste.
Como que, güey?
But they hit. I mean, whatever. It could be a song with a sound, right? Or the mumble rap when it first took off. It's like, what was the novelty in that? Honestly, like if we're just talking real quick about like music, like why did mumble rap explode with these artists who their names are escaping me?
Okay, there's would you consider Future mumble rap, or who? Like,
Was it like Lil Uzi Vert? Was that one?
yeah,
And
he's huge for a reason. So is Future. I'm just trying to see.
I can't honestly. I'm the names are escaping me.
There's levels to the mumble rap.
Yeah.
So if we were to be like, let's pick out the crappiest, non-talented, luckiest mumble rapper,
Sure.
and be like, oh, what was up with that? It'd be like, motherfucker got lucky and he sucks. Versus, like, oh, some people they might even be like, well, shit, is Cap G mumble rap? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But different people have different ears.
course.
Everything's subjective.
Right.
They might think I'm mumble rap.
No.
So Lil Uzi Vert is huge for a reason. He has so many ingredients to his matrix. There's so many things in his recipe, from like melody, fashion, just his unique little self, his dance moves, how the videos are, the artistry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's all these things of the creative director and the sound and the beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just like, I dismiss you, mumble rap. It's like, is Future mumble rap? Because I mean, if he is, that's just jamming like a motherfucker.
No, he's got great. His music's fucking.
You know, I just it's some Gucci flip flop. Like it sounds like he on drugs. He got that more kind of something in his mouth, and it just a lot of effects. And it's like raspy.
Was it him? One of the sound drops you hear all the time is like, "She belongs to the streets." Was that Future? Is either that one or "It's an evil world we live in"? But it's in that raspy kind of voice. I think it's Future. It's funny how some of those things also take off, right? They're just like phrases. No tiene chiste. Like
Kind
anybody,
of like Sas.
like yeah, perfect example. Like it's like
Por favor,
Sas.
believe it.
It's like the Matrix ingrains this into enough people's psyche to where it's like, oh, that's funny, or it's clever, or it's catchy, and it just like wildfire.
And then if you look at the apostle leader of La Luz del Mundo, like that church, air quotes church, because
Right.
it's just like, bro, y'all done.
It's a cult.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to offend the people that attend, but anyway, you ever seen a comedian or a musician or a band just like just bask in the glory? Like they just like, bro, they got everybody in the palm of their hand, and it's almost like, well, shit, y'all treating Future or Vicente Fernandez like y'all idolizing some of these folk the same way that these people are idolizing this preacher. So,
Right.
I mean, really, I mean, you know, y'all think that's jamming, I think this jamming.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of jamming, March 3rd, 36 new songs by Morgan Wallen dropping that new.
There you go.
Damn.
He said, bitch, try to cancel me one more game, bitch. I'm gonna drop 48 tracks on your bitch ass.
Hey, so before we wrap up the public episode, we gotta spend the last little quarter of the time here talking about the big Daily Wire Crowder controversy that we never got to, because this happened 2 weeks ago. It was at the end of our recording for that week, and then last week, obviously, we weren't here. Do you know much about it? So I can just catch you up on it if you don't really know, because it's all contractual stuff. It's stuff that I felt like you could correlate with music.
How about you catch the listeners up?
So, you know, Crowder's, he left the Blaze, right? So he's kind of in this free agency, as he's been calling it. And over the Christmas break, he was, you know, fielding offers from all these. He didn't name any names. He didn't even name Daily Wire. The Daily Wire named themselves in this whole controversy. And he was basically just saying how predatory these contracts were for conservative commentators that wanted to go out there and, you know, make a name for themselves. And Crowder, for as long as I've been watching this guy, he's always talked about how you can't create a bench. There's no bench like in sports to have people come up through the league or to come up through the minors and ascend up to your Glenn Becks, your even Crowders, your Rogans or whatever, because when it comes to big tech and conservatism, or people that lean conservative, like, you were being suppressed. You're the enemy kind of thing, right? Opportunities get taken away from you. Money gets taken away from you. Your platforms get taken away from you. And he had a big problem with that because the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro and these guys, after they came out and said that it was them that Crowder was referring to, said, this is why we take money from you if you get, strikes on YouTube, or we take money from you if you get demonetized on Facebook. Playing into what big tech has been doing for years now, and Crowder had a huge problem with this, so he kind of started this digital civil war with them, and now it's kind of here where we are. He did Pool, and he did another show talking about it. Candace Owens went on Tim Pool and made a fool of herself, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, here we are. Now he's still kind of like, he hasn't made a big announcement of what he's doing, but it sounds like he's making his own network. We shot him an email at his creator's email, like he asked for people that are interested in just having a platform that's going to help you grow without necessarily taking all of your money and taking all of your intellectual property. Like, what the fuck, Daily Wire? And I support it. I have a Daily Wire subscription. They have great content on there as well.
Well, Daily Wire is smart to understand that they can use the fact that they're going to get dinged for things, using it to their advantage. So they're like, yeah, we offered you $50 million. And it's like, bro, you know damn well you finna get it all back as soon as these people start getting dinged.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like you missed $100,000 there. Oh, you were sick that day, $100,000 there. So I think it's just a reminder that there's a lot of money in that shit. It's a big old club and we ain't in it.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of goofy stuff that happens on the conservative side for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it reminds me of the music business, and Steven Crowder, he's pulling kind of like Pimp C when he was like, all these record company people need to shut the fuck up. Before Pimp C passed, he was trying to unite the South. He was trying to unite Houston artists. He was trying to unite Texas, because he understood that the major label system was predatory against independent artists. Mm-hmm. Like, if you slanging your tapes out the trunk or whatever, I guess back then when it was record stores, now it's like you get all your own streaming if you're independent, and you get all your own merch and you negotiate your own ticket and touring, right? But then they started having these 360 deals where it's like they taking a piece of the 360.
Right.
And a lot of young artists were signing them left and right, and everybody thought I was trying to be bougie when I was turning down every label because my matrix was fire, my little algorithm was booming. And they were like, yo, he know how to pop shit off.
Yeah.
Like with no budget, on his own. You know what I'm saying? Like with just him and his family, like no other real backup. Obviously there's some artists show me love and
collabs.
Yeah, collabs. And, obviously like Baby Bash always, help me network and all kinds of things. But anyway, it's just revealing that the way big tech works and this big conservative media, like there's a lot of money in that stuff. And then Steven Crowder, he's just cut from that cloth where he's like, this isn't my idea of how this should or could be. It's like y'all are being greedy, and y'all got these goofy ass contracts, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, you could have just turned it down, I guess. But he kind of used it as fuel to like fire up his fans, and he used it for leverage. So basically he said, so right now, I need everybody to go to this website.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And put your email and let them know this is you kind of pledging that you want to support something like what we have in mind. And of course, everybody's gonna be like, fuck yeah. Boom. Now he could walk into that other meeting and be like, I got 175,000 emails right here where I'm basically telling you right now, I could turn around and make this much money if you don't come correct and give me my terms that I want. Otherwise, I'm walking out with my big ass fan base and my list of petitioners.
Yeah, and you know what? He did that because he had to. The Blaze didn't give him his subscribers, didn't give him his email list. So
yeah.
It's almost like if you go back and think, had the Blaze just given him what he had earned, give him his mug club information for subscribers, he might have just gone off and been happily ever after. But after having to, and this is why I preach to anybody that's an entrepreneur or content creator, start an email list. Go subscribe at chingobling.com for this email list so that you can get all the tour dates, merch information, podcast information, because big tech can turn off your website, AWS, Amazon Web Services, or whoever runs your servers, right? Or maybe it's a big tech platform like Facebook, like your YouTube, like your shit's gone. You have no way of coming in contact with your fans again. So he had to do that, and it just so happened that, the Daily Wire outed themselves as one of these people, and it created more of a shitstorm too.
And support the content creators that take chances and really go out of their way to like stay true to themselves and to give you something that's just real and authentic, because a lot of times those gonna be the first ones to like get lost in the shuffle, shadow ban.
Yeah.
Big tech ain't really supporting them, because if they're speaking about certain issues, it's like, it's not very advertiser friendly, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now you over here keeping it real, talking your shit and making no money.
Yeah,
When it's like, damn, I could get paid if I was fake.
that's true.
Let me get fake and be paid.
I'm going to run through. So, when we do our episodes, I always go into the Discord and say, send us some questions, or if they got any kind of topics or great debates or whatever. So I'm going to go through the channels so that people can't say, we always forget to get to the questions. We don't always forget, but sometimes we do forget. In the questions, this is from Corpitos. Would Mike Lindell buying all of the bankrupt Bed Bath & Beyond stores and turning them into my stores be the ultimate business fuck you for fucking me flex? Do you know about this?
Well, I know that Bed Bath & Beyond kicked them out, besides Walmart and everybody else.
So Jack Posobiec tweeted, or I guess Gettered Truth something, breaking, Bed Bath & Beyond is preparing to seek bankruptcy protection as soon as this week and has lined up liquidators to close additional stores unless a last-minute buyer emerges. Mike Lindell is releasing MyPillow 2 to raise the money to buy every Bed Bath & Beyond and turn them into my stores, you fool.
Wait, did he release MyPillow 2.0 for that reason?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was for that reason. I thought he just came across some revolutionary technology which allows not only the interlocked foam. Y'all have a MyPillow?
No.
Okay, we do. My wife, she's not really a believer. She don't get it. And I tell her, like Mike Lindell told me, it's not about softness. It's not about the firmness. It's a combination of things. You want it to be soft, but you want it to stay there.
Right.
You don't want your head to be like, oh, this down pillow sure is soft as it sinks. So he created this interlock system where it's like little cubes of foam that are all like clumped together. So it kind of keeps its shape while being soft. So the 2.0 is going to be temperature regulated as well.
I'm down for that. We need to get that promo code. We did. Corbitos also said we should have a promo code. We reached out last year, but it was during the holidays, so maybe we'll try again. But yeah, this is why he's doing that, releasing this MyPillow 2 or 2.0. What do you make of that? If he buys all of Bed Bath & Beyond, I mean, that's the kind of flex I'm talking about. That's the kind of freedom shit. Like the guy from the restaurant, the restaurateur, Gourmelts, I think was the name of the restaurant in Virginia. He said, look, I fought for my country and was willing to risk my life. I'll risk going to jail if you want to try to extort money out of my restaurant, close my business, and do that to other citizens. And he even said the only reason that he won was because the people got behind him. So another big underarching message of this show is that if you get behind these things, you can make a change. These fucking politicians, bro, doesn't matter what side that they're on, they're in there for the money and the power, right? But if people speak out against it, and enough of them do, you can make a change, in my opinion.
So in his case, people backed him, and then
he was able to go to court. He was able to fight these for the last. I mean, this happened in 2020. So from 2020, from March when it first started, which we're coming up on the 3-year anniversary. We should probably do some kind of big, celebration episode here. But from 2020 March to like December, he was running shit like usual. He refused all of the mandates until January. Was it 6th? J6, whenever the inauguration was, right?
Okay.
I forgot the date exactly, but around there.
The inauguration is like J20 or something.
So yeah, that's right. So those would be before that. But when Breezy comes in, he puts forth a lot of mandates. And one of those mandates was that OSHA could now team with the local health inspectors and whatever and come in and start shutting shit down. So he said, fuck all that, because for the last 9 months of all this, when the shit was really at the beginning of it in 2020, when shit was hard, he was like, this is arbitrary. Like, this is silly. There's no way. You remember put your mask on when you sit down, take it off? Yeah, it's fine. Like, that's stupid shit. Put plexiglass at your bar. You can't sit at the bar, but you can move a table close to the bar. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he fought it tooth and nail. They finally came in. They did suspend his license. And then he said, I'm going to serve food and alcohol anyway. And then more and more mandates passed and more government officials were able to take power, finally shut him down. And then the whole court system took off. And at the very end of it, dude, to tie in a nice, neat bow, they said, look, we'll settle with you. Give us $2,000. We'll give your licenses back. He's like, I'm not giving you a dime. He said, better yet, I'll give you $17.76.
Aha.
And they didn't take it. And then he said, after Christmas, I'm opening my shit up again and running it as usual. And he said, because at that point also, Glenn Youngkin had won in Virginia. So they had a Republican governor who, by the way, he said didn't really do a whole lot for him, or the attorney general, or the lieutenant general, who are all Republicans as well. He said, if you want a political shitstorm, because apparently Glenn Youngkin wants to run for president, right? So if you want the political shitstorm of all these hundreds of thousands of people who are now flying from across the country to eat at this guy's restaurant, shake his hand and say, thank you for doing this, then let's play ball. Because I'm willing to go to jail because I was already willing to die for this country.
How about that?
And the very next day, the day before Christmas or the day after Christmas, he had his licenses back.
And if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. I say anything, bro. I say everything.
Yeah, you're right.
We tried to be in sync like a motherfucker.
Damn it.
Dance move was fucked off on that. Pinche in sync.
Let me go run through the channels. Hey, you didn't give your dates. Do you have dates?
Oh, of course.
Come on, bro.
I know, bro. It's like you know what I mean. Like we got a couple sponsors now. It's getting a little, you know, what I'm
getting
talking about.
serial.
You know, Manscaped and all that. Let me pull up my dates.
Which, by the way,
de voladita.
got some fire videos on Manscaped coming up.
Okay, yeah, y'all tune in on that. I'm headed to Corpus Christi February 2nd through the 4th. A couple things kind of pending, but for sure we have Naples, March 5th. Naples, Florida. Odessa, Texas, March 11th. A couple things pending. Fresno, check these out, y'all. All my California people, check this out. Fresno, California, March 23rd. Merced, March 24th. Visalia, March 25th. More dates on my website, like El Paso, San Jose, Alamo, Texas, Brownsville, Victoria, Texas, and Waco. A lot of that is, I think we're working on College Station. We're working on a bunch of stuff. But hit it up. I'll be in Corpus Christi this weekend. Sass.
Nice. Question of the day. Question of the day from Yenny Yen. Lucille's or Famous Dave's?
What the fuck is Lucille's?
I don't know what that is.
Lucille's in San Antonio?
Maybe
Lucille's.
What's Famous Dave's? That's pizza.
Famous
isn't it?
Dave's. I thought that was barbecue.
Bro, she's gonna be like, y'all motherfuckers don't know jack shit about food.
I've had Famous Dave's barbecue. I think like in El Paso and like Fresno, stuff like that.
Let me look it up. By the way, did you eat anywhere special down there when you were out of town? Like, I feel like you had to have experienced something.
Well, I had some Taco Palenque in Laredo. I had some Danny's, not to be confused with Denny's.
Danny's?
Yeah, Danny's. It's a local gentleman down there. I've worked with him before on some things, but he owns like this chain. It's basically like, hey, bitch, if you're Denny's, don't even fucking come down here. We got this. And it's like fully staffed. You know how at Chinese buffets they always bring you the iced tea?
Yes.
I haven't been in one of those in years.
Memories,
but at Danny's, ahí andan en chinga, y con el café, sir. Ahí te va, boss. Like, damn. The minute you take a sip, they put new coffee. What else did we eat? We ate at the resort. Got 50% off right there. You know what I'm talking about? When you performing. Where else do we eat?
Those are the
You know
good
what,
kind of
man?
plugs.
I'm going to say this. The road could be a little tricky.
Yes.
Sometimes just sleep is good. Sometimes you take advantage, like the fact that you're not home. Sometimes your sleep is not good. Sometimes you eating out of a drive-through a lot because you're just on the go, right? Trying to heal people with laughter, with your God-given gifts. So sometimes the road could be a little tricky, man. I had to throw some weed out, bro. They had a checkpoint.
The travesty.
CBD.
Yeah, Delta 9 or what the fuck you call
whatever.
it. Delta 8.
Whatever's legal, that's what it was.
Yeah. Now, Famous Dave's is barbecue. And then here, am I pronouncing this right or wrong? Am I dyslexic today? Give me a second. What does this say, Chingo?
Lucille's Smokehouse Barbecue. Where is it?
Downtown.
Downtown what?
Is there directions here, I think?
Downtown Houston?
Yeah.
Brian, never been there or heard of it.
Me neither.
Lucille's Smokehouse Barbecue.
But it's got 3,000 fucking Google reviews and almost a 4.5
Oh, it's on
stars.
the branch. Okay. It must be all the people that work downtown.
Maybe in the tunnels, I bet. I bet you it's in the tunnels. Yep.
You think Lucille's is in the tunnels?
I think so.
So they barbecuing underground?
Yeah, why not?
In El Pozo?
Yeah. Just to prepare for the apocalypse.
Yeah, I really don't know.
It's in the museum district.
Okay, that's right. That's near us right now. But anyway, bro, the RGV was so much love, bro.
Straight fire.
Yeah, just beautiful people. So many people. It's just like it's grown so much. Donde antes era monte, ahora es Starbucks.
No shit. I haven't been in a hot ass minute.
Oh, you're not gonna recognize it, bro. It's ridiculous. I don't know if they know, but it's like y'all are a metropolis.
Yeah, I mean McAllen, right? McAllen is the 5th largest metropolitan city, I think, in the state.
I don't know about that, but I know that it's the Austin of the RGV. A lot of libs.
Really?
Yeah, because these hardworking Mexicans send their kids to college and then they come back indoctrinated.
Wow.
And into the cult of leftism and wokeism.
McAllen is the largest city of Hidalgo County in Texas, the United States, and the 22nd most populous city in Texas.
22nd in Texas, yeah. But when you combine it with Westlaco, Mission, Donna, a.k.a. Ghost Town, you know what I'm saying? When you start adding all that right there, un chingo de gente, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like just a ton of businesses and like shopping centers. I was like, bro, if we don't pick up no sponsor, while we out here. This don't make no sense. I ain't shit. If we can't pick up not one sponsor in this all these so many strip malls.
I'm sure you will. And I'm sure it's in the works as we speak right now. You know what else is in the works as we speak right now?
What is that?
ChingoTheMerch.com.
ChingoTheMerch.com.
Live by the time this episode airs.
And you know what, man? Give us feedback. If there's something you want to see on there, please let us know, because we're smart enough to know that just because you create a website and you make some products, it doesn't mean that people are going to actually be like, oh, I must have this. So we understand the nature of this shit. We want to make it so fire that it's like, thank you, sir, for making this.
Yeah. Don't talk him out of the sale.
No, I'm just saying, like, my point is, we're not taking y'all for granted, and we know sales ain't easy. Like, we know it's not just some lazy, half-ass, thrown together shit. Like, we respect y'all way too much to just do some half-ass, lazy, thrown together shit. You know, my people ain't falling for that.
That's right.
Make sure y'all let us know if it's litty or not.
So if you guys aren't already part of premium subscriptions, we have the Apple subscriptions, which you can get right from your Apple podcast app if you have only an iPhone, or Patreon for everything else.
Yeah, please do, because, you know, Apple, they take 30%, so they need their money. But yeah, we appreciate that. I think that's super convenient, bro. It's all built in. You just click,
clack, clack,
click.
Lastly, and then we'll let you guys go. Agent of the Month returns. So we didn't do one in January because we wanted to give new people that had come in January and in the new year to, you know, make their voices heard. I don't know how many of them actually stood out, any of the new ones, but there'll be a new poll. And now with this new merch store, there's going to be some perks for people who become Agent of the Month.
Okay, that was fast. That was fast as fuck. Break that down to me one more again.
We're going to launch
Agent of the
Month again.
Okay.
Because we had new ones come in. We wanted to see if they could, you know, make themselves known in the Discord to all the OGs. And because we have this new merch store, you'll have some perks if you do become Agent of the Month through this merch store, if you catch my drift.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Agent of the Month?
Yeah.
Shit. Damn. I know all the past agents are like, bitch, where were our perks?
You guys help build the house that we live in. That's what it is. There's got to be some kind of biblical phrase for that, right? Like did the Ark make Noah's Ark, right? Who helped build Noah's Ark?
That's a good question, bro.
I thought it was one of those, like, I'm the wrong person to ask about this, but maybe we'll find out and talk about it on the premium episodes.
Yeah.
I
think Rob believes in NASA. That's his his church.
Bro.
Rob is in the church of NASA.
Did you listen, we'll go with this. Remember, and I should have brought this up when we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Remember the Red Bull drop of the guy that went up to space and then fell out in his suit?
Oh, he went like
free dived.
He went super high up. Mm-hmm.
Super high. Like, I think he went super high. It was like 66 kilometers or something like that, like 100 miles into the air or whatever. Mm-hmm. That was considered space.
Okay.
So I was just like, I wonder if Chingo had seen that video and had saw the free dive.
What's the furthest we've gone? Mars?
As an individual?
Allegedly? Like,
I believe Mars.
Because satellites they got fake images. Like, they don't really be up there how they make it seem.
Every time I see something like, I know, like, some telescopes just found like another planet the size of Earth that had supposed to be able to house, you know, like existence or whatever. Mm-hmm. So every time I see that, I just think of Chingo Bling.
Well, my issue, the issue that I take with stuff like that is, don't show me no CGI drawn image. Please don't, because that only triggers someone like me that's hypersensitive to propaganda and indoctrination. So how about you show us how it really looks through the telescope? Like, if it's a gassy, fuzzy star, twinkle, twinkle, little, you know, I wonder what you are, way above the sky so high. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I think they wrote some of these songs for a reason.
You should redo that song.
But that's my point. Yeah. It's like, you're hurting your case by doing goofy shit. Like, bro, I don't want to see the CGI interpretation. Please spare me the Photoshop. Like, don't show me. Like, it's cool that you're telling us that, oh, we found that we might. Like, I follow all the NASA accounts, and I see all the Disney-like narrative of, like, I'm the space rover, and today one of my solar panels was covered in dust. You know, soon maybe humans will da-da-da. And it's like, back home at headquarters, they figured out how I could shake the dust off so that my battery wouldn't go low. And it's like, this shit looks so fucking fake. But anyway.
Good shit, man. Good to be back.
Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in. Great to be back. And y'all have a blessed one. Sas.